8:30 a.m. through noon, the Arc Sports Center, Camana Bay. The annual adventure unleashing the magic of science, the wonderment of limitless exploration. Over 50 science projects and experiments representing budding scientists from schools across the Cayman Islands. Sourcing energy, exploring the environment, oceanography, agronomy, rocket propulsion, medical technology, drone technology, water security, eco-solutions, math, chemistry, physics, biology, engineering, nanotechnology. The Rotary Central Science Fair 2025, Saturday, April 5, Camana Bay. Every child needs to see and feel the magic of science, the magic of Rotary.
Radio Cayman's Historical Vignettes was brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects.
Talk Today is brought to you by Subway, open 24 hours in Countryside, Anderson Square in Georgetown, and Centennial Towers in West Bay. And by the Ministry of District Administration, explore your history, explore your land, explore your sister islands. And Cayman Airways, call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. And Doctors Hospital, peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066.
But I do have some questions.
There are more questions than answers.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners' participation program.
Talk Today.
What's on your mind, Cayman? If you're ready to talk, we are ready to listen. Discussing current events and local news, community spotlights, hot topics, listener stories, cultural and historical discussions, environmental issues, fun and lighthearted topics, guest interviews. Cayman, basically anything you want to talk about, we are ready to listen. Here's your guest host, Orrett Connor.
Good afternoon and welcome to Talk Today. I'm your guest host. As we continue our series of interviews with candidates in the upcoming general election scheduled for April 30th of this year. We have two candidates in the studio. You will know more about them and you will know who they are as soon as we return. So please stay tuned. Talk Today will be back shortly.
The following is a paid political broadcast. The views, information, or opinions expressed in this forum are solely those of the participants of this event and do not represent the views of the management and staff of Radio Cayman. Talk Today is reminding you
to avoid any statements or comments which are abusive, derogatory, malicious, or defamatory. Do not use indecent language or make any statement that is false or misleading. Call 1-800-534-8255, 949-6990, 949-8037, or WhatsApp us on 925-3261.
And now, back to Talk Today.
Good afternoon and welcome back to Talk Today. It is my pleasure to have in the studio with me two of the candidates who belong to the Cayman Islands National Party. In the studio with me this afternoon, we have Miss Julie Hunter, who's the candidate seeking to represent the constituency of West Bay West in our parliament, and Mr. Haymond Rankin, who is seeking to represent the constituency of Bodden Town West in our parliament in the upcoming April 30th general elections. Folks, good afternoon. Welcome to Talk Today.
Good afternoon.
Well, I know both of you have already been involved in debates or in forum. So, and plus, Mr. Rankin has been on, for the record, with me, earlier in the month as well. Mm-hmm. So, we're going to continue some of those discussions. I want to say to my listening and viewing audience out there, if you have any questions or comments, we are inviting you to send them to us to our WhatsApp number 925-3261, and we will share those comments or questions with our panelists. We will not be taking any calls because time simply doesn't allow for that to occur this afternoon. So we encourage you, to do that. So meanwhile, I'm going to ask each candidate to introduce themselves to our audience. While you may not need any introduction whatsoever, we're not sure who's out there listening. It may be someone hearing you for the first time. So it is so extremely important for them to know who you are. And this morning on my show, in response to a person who sent in some messages about family life and everything, and I made note of many candidates when they introduce themselves, they talk about themselves, but they don't necessarily, talk about the rest of their family. And people want to know, who you are, who your family is, if you're married, do you have kids and stuff like that. As a matter of fact, in most countries, you see the family members on the political platforms, as well. Here in the Cayman Islands, we have a tendency to do it a little bit different. But we're going to start with Ms. Julie. Again, good afternoon. Tell us about yourself.
Thank you. And I'm glad you said that, because another time when I introduced myself, and I spent time talking about my family, and somebody came back and said, well, why was it important to say that you've been married for 45 years and had kids? And I thought, that's who I am. Why wouldn't I talk about that? So, yes, I'm glad you mentioned that.
And that 45 years shows commitment and, and longevity.
Exactly. That shows longevity. That shows commitment. That shows the type of person I am. So that's extremely important. But thank you for having us today, OC. And I would say that I am a proud West Bayer, born and bred. Raised up right there in the beautiful district of Northwest Point, right on the road to the Turtle Farm. My name is Julie Hunter, and I am a proud mother of 3 grown children, and I have 3 wonderful grandchildren. Like I said, my husband is Robert Hunter. He's my greatest fan. We've been married for 45 years. I guess you don't marry for 45 years without having him as a fan. So something has gone right, I previously worked at Cayman National for 35 years as a banker, so that's my professional career. I was in the legal field before 8 years before that. But I think I learned more from my banking career, so I tend to concentrate there. I have been a community advocate and worker for many, many years. And so when I combine my dedication to community service, my banking experience, my love for people, I feel that I'm placed for such a time as this. And I feel that platform, positions me to apply for this job, because I do consider it a job. My contract was up in September last year, and when I thought of running for politics, I asked for it not to be renewed, because I knew then I would need some time to campaign. But I had kind of thought, that I would just go out into the sunset after working for that length of time. But, when I started seeing what was really happening to our young people especially, and a lot of them started to talk to me and say, this is my position. I can't get a job. I can't get a house. I feel like I need to find another jurisdiction. In fact, a lot of them did go to other jurisdictions. That really, really got me to thinking, and I'm saying, this has now become very, very personal, because if all of our young people are leaving, and we are already at 35% in our own country, where does that take us? So what are we going to be in 5 years from now? 20%? That was a staggering thought. And I thought, I have experience, I have leadership qualities, I have a lot of potential for giving. I'm a very healthy person, so I didn't feel like there was any reason why I couldn't put myself forward for political office. So that's why I'm here today, because I feel that I have a lot to offer, and I feel that we have not had the kind of representation that we need in West Bay for a very long time. So that's it in a nutshell.
Thank you very much, Miss Julie. Mr. Haymond, over to you, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you, OC, for having us on the show today. Thank you for, spending your time to interview us. Thank you to the listening audience for tuning in. My name is Haymond Michael Rankin, and I am running for Bodden Town West this coming election on the 30th of April. And I think, to answer your question, why am I doing this? I am really doing this, OC, because I genuinely feel for a very long time, past and previous governments have failed us as a people on a whole. We see the social economic issues. We see the economic issues that Caymanians are faced with. And for too long, I've sat down and observed these things. For too long, I've listened to my elders and the young people and people my age all really be fed up with where we're at. Everything happening around us is happening at a fast pace, and Cayman is really developing. But I keep on having to question, who are we developing for? Because to me, it doesn't feel like we're developing for Caymanians. It doesn't feel like we're trying to develop our youth, take care of our elderly, take care of individuals who have special needs. It just feels that we've just been ostracized for way too long. And personally, I feel like I am in a very good position to, take the licks, so to speak, and roll.
Got broad shoulders.
Oh yeah, they broad. And I genuinely feel that I am a leader, someone who can help work together to achieve a common goal, and this is what I feel Cayman desperately needs, someone who has morals. Miss Julie talked about, her long-standing relationship with her husband. I've also been married for 7 years with my lovely wife. We have 3.
A lot of catching up to do with
Oh, I can catch you one day.
Strive for it. You'll get there.
Amen to that. But these are family values, core family values. Being able to care not only for family but for country is something that I hold dear, and I feel like I'm in a really good position, not only from my educational background, my professional background, but also because of who I am as a person. I really feel that I can deliver along with lovely people like Miss Julie and the other members of the Cayman Islands National Party, really deliver the change that Cayman needs. And that is why I am doing this. We've seen the problems, but now it is really time to address them, and I'm ready to step up to do so.
Okay, we're going to go to a commercial break. When we return, we want to talk about, I know a lot of the campaigning is taking place, underground, where you're visiting people, door to door,
yes,
or in groups, and we want to hear some of the things that have been resonating amongst the people that you talk to as far as their concerns about the Cayman Islands and the direction that we're going as well. So folks, don't change that dial. Please stay tuned. Talk Today. We'll be back shortly.
Stay cyber secure with Cayman National. Here are a few tips that will benefit you. Ensure to log out completely when you finish any online banking activities. Be aware of phishing attempts and only click links from trusted sources that are sent from your device through emails and messages. Remember, Cayman National will never ask you for your credentials. If you suspect a fraud attempt or that your account has been compromised, please immediately contact our customer support team at 949-8300.
Accidents and illnesses can strike without warning. Ouch! When it comes to urgent care, every second counts. At Doctors Hospital, we have a dedicated team of experienced doctors and nursing staff available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Don't waste time in an overcrowded emergency room when you need urgent care. Whether it's a broken bone, a severe infection, or a sudden illness, trust in Doctors Hospital's unwavering dedication to providing the best immediate care. For complete urgent care when you need it the most, choose Doctors Hospital, located in Georgetown, 16 Middle Road.
Easter vacation is just around the corner, and Cayman Airways has added multiple extra flights to some of your favorite destinations, some of mine too. Look here, they got seats available now for booking on extra Easter flights between Grand Cayman and Kingston, La Ceiba, Miami, Cayman Brac, Little Cayman, and you can even catch a non-stop flight to Montego Bay for Easter. Check it out. You can visit CaymanAirways.com, contact a local travel agent, or call Cayman Airways Reservations on 949-2311. And don't wait too long though, because these extra Easter seats always sell fast. Be sure to add your Sir Turtle Rewards number to your booking so you can earn more miles for more free trips this year. Well, I know where I'm going. I'll see you on board our uniquely Caymanian airline for Easter.
She hear clunk and her car stop. I was just about to send her some money, so I send it straight to her JN money transfer card. It cost me less, and perhaps she use the card, pay the garage right away. She'll get discount through the JN Rewards program in Jamaica. This card make things easy. You can even get funds at any multi-link ATM.
JN Money Transfer Card. Fast, affordable, convenient. Tell your loved ones in Jamaica about it. Sign up is free.
It's back. It's crispy. It's delicious. St. Ignatius Youth Ministry presents Friday Fish Fry Nights. 6 weeks of flavor. March 14th, 21st, 28th, April 4th, and 11th. Serving from 5 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. at the St. Ignatius School Canteen. Dine in or take out. The menu includes fried or baked snapper, $17. Mahi-mahi, $15. Served with fries or rice, coleslaw, escovitch, fritters, and more. Drinks, just $1. Free desserts while they last. Eat good. Do good. Every bite supports our youth ministry trip to the Steubenville High School Youth Conference in Orlando, Florida this summer. Come hungry. Leave happy. See you there.
The countdown is on for Capella Music Festival on Saturday, March 29th at the Festival Green, Camana Bay. An unforgettable experience and non-stop entertainment presented by Cayman Airways and Camana Bay, featuring international stars Ashanti, Clean Bandit, Gramps Morgan, Kamani Marley, and Elaine, Nyla Blackman, and DJ Puffy, alongside local artists and DJs across 3 stages. Purchase at Tier 1 pricing while supplies last at CapellaMusicFestival.com or in store at Blackbeard's, AA Rubis, FIS MoneyGram, Winter Circle, Tortuga, and Sing's Roadie Shop. Capella Music Festival, Saturday, March 29th. A true festival experience.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Good afternoon and welcome back to Talk Today. I am your host this afternoon. My name is Orrett Connor. It is my pleasure to have in the studio with me 2 members of the Cayman Islands National Party. They are Ms. Julia Hunter, who is seeking to represent the constituency of West Bay West in her parliament, and Mr. Haymond Rankin, who is vying for the seat in Bodden Town West. So, before we went to the break, the question was some of the things that you're discovering, you know, on the trail when you go out there on your campaign. Some of the things that are resonating with the people who you come in contact with.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, who wants to start?
Take that one, Ms. Julia?
Sure. One of the things that really surprised me that some of my constituents are dealing with, OC, is not being able to qualify for the preschool allowance. I thought I think that needs to be looked into. A part of what is happening is that there's a set criteria for what your salary can be, and even if your salary is a few dollars over that, they're not really looking at the fact that they have a mortgage, they have a car loan, they have 3 kids, you know. So it's like, you know, you need to not only look at the salary, but you need to look at the person's expenses.
Mm-hmm.
So if the person's salary was a certain amount, but they didn't have all, they were just renting, say for instance, and they only had 1 child, but I think they need to look at all of the expenses as well as what is tripping people up. So that was the big thing for me. You can't get preschool allowance anymore. You know, and the person, and to make it worse, they're making a decent salary, but they still have, and they're young Caymanians, so we want them to have the house. So we can't tell them, okay, it's because you have a mortgage. That's ludicrous. You know.
So the means testing needs to dive a little bit deeper, rather than just looking at what that salary is. You need to look and see where that
what are they spending their money on?
Yes.
You know, if they're being frivolous and doing things that they shouldn't be doing, I'm not for that. I mean, I'm all for budgeting and making, but that was a genuine concern when we looked at it. The fact that only reason they couldn't qualify is because their salary was over the threshold. But you know, some of the things that another thing that I found was that I thought was really worth exploring. We have a lot of retired and almost retired people within our community that still have so much to offer. Like I found one gentleman that is a phenomenal cabinet maker. And now he's sitting there with basically nothing to do and willing to teach our youth. And he doesn't have the platform to do it. You know, he doesn't have the money to go and buy all of the plywood and you know, make a shop, you know, and all that to do. But he's a phenomenal cabinet maker, very, very skilled. And he's willing, you know, so for a small stipend, we could be employing him in our vocational training school. You know, things like that really, really opened my eyes to the possibilities. And he's just one. He's just one of many. I found so many different members of our society that's willing to do things like that. I thought of things like culture. When I was away in South Africa in October, it really, really hit me how little of our culture is on display. And I know that our culture in Cayman, you know, a lot of it has died out. And that's one of my platforms that I really want to champion, is to bring back our culture. And so I thought, you know, everywhere I went in South Africa, you could see that you were in South Africa. You saw them dancing, you saw the shows, you saw everything. You know, everywhere we went, we saw something. You know, how much of that you see in Cayman? Very, very little. So I thought, again, of our artisans and the people that dance and all of that. Why don't we employ them and put them in the hotels, have shows, you know, each day, you know, for our tourists to see and at our main points, tourism points, so that they're always out there, so that when people come to Cayman, they don't wonder what is our natural dance, or, you know, what kind of foods we enjoy, or the fact that, you know, as a Caymanians, we like the Caymanian look with our wide rim hats and, you know, our nice flowing dresses and so on and so forth. You know, that again is another thing that we could be using some of our seniors and our youth for. Say, for instance, those that are just getting out of school, high school, and they're transitioning now between that period. They need a little stipend. We could, if no more than hire them for the summer. You know?
No, absolutely.
Mr. Haymond, some of the things that you're discovering, you know, on the trail.
Before I get into that, I just want to say, Miss Jolie, I loved, you know, how you highlighted the issues with our culture, and it really is, you know, is fastly disappearing at a very rapid rate. And see, do you know that one song that go I don't want no chip up potato, chip up potato? You know that song?
Yep.
Can I just put in a special request that can Radio Cayman start to play that song more often?
A little bit more often.
I love that song.
We'll talk to the DJs about that.
Preserving Cayman culture, I think, is so important, and it's something that I hold dear to me. And that is one of the things that I want to really be addressing with the support, with the vote come April the 30th, to be able to highlight the local talent, to be able to highlight, you know, our culture, and try our best to not only preserve, but to put on full display that Caymanian way of life, that Caymanian culture. So thank you for bringing that up, Ms. Julie, and thanks to all your constituents for really raising that as something that's near and dear to them, because it is near and dear to me as well. What I would say in Bodden Town West, some of the key things that I keep seeing on a recurring basis is housing and healthcare. So I keep on hearing time and time again, Haymond, I cannot afford a house. It is ridiculous. You know, and this is what I'm talking about in terms of the economical policies that we have in place, in terms of just immigration policies that we have in place. The decisions that government make at a high level affect us all. And so much so that housing is really out of reach for many, many Caymanians, both young and old. People are scared. Our 19-year-olds who go off to college and come back, they're scared to come back because it's like, shoot, I'm going to have to live with my mom and my dad for God knows how long, because A, I may likely not get a job, and B, even if I get a job, I won't be able to afford a home. You know, I've seen elderly people who have lost their homes due to the increasing costs associated with you know, the interest rates,
Mm-hmm.
and now they're renting, and they're renting you know, prices that used to be their old mortgage rates, and it's crazy to me to see, you know, why aren't we putting more things in place to protect them? And I'll touch on one of those solutions that the Cayman Islands National Party and myself has, you know, debated quite heavily in our meetings to, you know, come up with a plan to address this issue.
Mm-hmm.
And it really, to me, to all of us, it really lies in one of the big issues lie in the immigration laws, which basically says, you know, if a foreign investor wants to invest to effectively get status in Cayman, one of the best, easiest, proven ways of getting that status, getting those points, is by purchasing property, right? And as a result, they're purchasing so much property
Sent
that
the prices completely.
it's
It's out of
exactly
reach, so now it's made it out of reach.
Exactly.
For Caymanians, because they can't compete with
Mhm.
those high prices.
Exactly.
You know, the retired. Someone sent me a voice note to that same effect this
Mhm.
morning.
Mhm.
You know how the ones that are coming here, they're wealthy, they're retired, so they have money saved, they can do
Exactly.
this. And Cayman is such a lucrative place, it's such a welcoming, open place. Everybody wants to come.
Yeah.
So of course they're going to put everything into
Mhm.
getting PR and being here.
Yeah.
But where does that send our young Caymanians? And look at the message it's sending to them. That we
Exactly.
care about that money more than we care about them.
Yeah, not only that, effectively our policies are literally, our laws are literally selling out
Mm-hmm.
the future of Caymanians and selling out our physical land as well. And I'm no sellout. Are you, Miss Julie?
No.
No, we're not. And we see these issues and we want to address these issues, right? And the thing about what we're talking about, Miss Julie OC, is, you know, it is not just a foreigner from Miami or New York. These are for you name a country, Caymanians have to compete against them. And these are wealthy, a lot of the time retired individuals that just have money and want the benefits of being in a tax-free jurisdiction. And as a result, just like Miss Julie pointed out, you know, our property prices are soaring. Another thing that is a big issue in Bodden Town is healthcare and pension. On average, it's about, well, it keeps changing the more people I speak to, but right now I would peg it around $600 to $800 in terms of how much the people that I've spoken to, at least, and I've been to over 200 homes so far.
Okay.
And Haymond, I just want to remind you that
Mhm.
that $600 to $800 is a basic plan.
Yes.
Because I was quoted $1,120
Mhm.
in September when I retired
Mhm.
for what the plan that I had at Cayman National. So the $600 to $800 is very basic.
Yes, yes.
So to put that in perspective.
No, absolutely. And I mean, to put it even into further perspective, OC, what was your last light bill? If you mind sharing?
Trying to remember now. Probably around about $600 because of the winter.
Mhm.
You know, cooler months.
Mhm.
Oh, it's gonna be
not
way
as high.
more.
But in the summer, you know, up to like
Nine.
$1,200 easily.
Exactly. How can our elderly live on a pension on average of $600 to $800 if the one bill that they have to pay not
It's
only
over that.
kills that, could put them in debt?
Yeah.
We need to be able to address this from a holistic standpoint, from a legislative standpoint and a policy standpoint, and most importantly, I believe that we just need to care more about our people, because if we care, we can implement things to address all of these issues.
Okay, and this goes right up your area of expertise, I believe, Mr. Haymond, in terms of there are many high-paying careers in the financial services industry, and both of you actually. How will the introduction of a structured financial services curriculum at all educational levels help to prepare Caymanians for all of these opportunities that are available, but most of them, when they apply for them, you don't have enough experience, you don't have the qualifications.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, to me, I can start on that one.
Okay.
Because education, as we know, is really one of the keys to the future of our children and our young people in Cayman. Right now, for far too many of them are coming out of school not qualified for the job. So that's why we're talking about raising the minimum wage. We not only need to raise the minimum wage, but we also need to prepare our young people for those high-paying jobs. For instance, if we know that many of the jobs, almost 50% of the jobs are now in AI and technology, why aren't we, from an early age, introducing all of those things to them in school? We're waiting till year, what is it, 11, 10? No, year 9, 10?
Till the end, basically.
Yeah. So what we are proposing is that from year 5, those children are made aware of what the choices are, and so that they're aligned then with the industry jobs, so that education and work have, what you would say, like a link. They need to be linked, so that education know what jobs are in this island, so that we can better prepare our children. If they're not prepared for the future, then where are we going? It's going to be just like how we are now, having to worry about them getting the minimal jobs, the minimum paid jobs.
Because we know what jobs are in demand, because we know what work permits that we're issuing.
So why can't that information be passed down to the education department? It's just ludicrous that we can't get this together, OC. You know?
Yeah.
No, I completely agree. And again, these are things that we debate together as a team at the Cayman Islands National Party's headquarters. This isn't just, some random thoughts put together by someone and then being fed to us. Like, I remember debating this heavily with other members in our party, and in the end, certain things we may not agree with on the onset, but once we really sit down and share opinions, everyone collectively comes to the understanding that, look, this is what the country needs, and we're going to work together to deliver the change the country needs. And what Ms. Julie just described is, case in point, one of those solutions that we would be proposing.
Okay. From an immigration standpoint, are there any low-hanging fruits that you feel that your party can implement on, using Trump's term, day one, when you're elected? Some low-hanging fruits that you can achieve right away that people will say, yes, they're getting the ball rolling.
Yes. For instance, one of those low-hanging fruit would be to put a moratorium on certain classes of work permit. That needs to go in on day one. I mean, you can't have so many of our people unemployed, and then you still bringing in work permits for those areas that the jobs that they can do is bad enough. You bring in permits for those that we don't have qualifications for, but those that you have qualifications for, those need to be, a moratorium need to be on those. I also think that we need to pause or see immediately on our statuses and our permanent residency for at least 24 months. We need to see where we are. We need to give ourselves a break. We need to slow down and assess till we get some of these plans in place, till we get the work and the education connected and all of that, and get those policies changed. At least give us a break on some of this.
Okay.
Yeah, I think one of the key things that we have to be looking at as well is the education of our youth to be able to take on these jobs, right? Because we're under no, we're not delusional. Like, we know that the expat workforce is very instrumental to Cayman, right? We cannot build alone. We simply don't have the numbers, right? But there has to be a balance that is struck, and we have to ensure, not only while we're striking that balance, that we're preparing our children and adults, because they're people too, to take on these roles. So one of the things I would say is, I work, previous to throwing my hat in the race, for a nonprofit organization called Cayman Finance. And one of the things that I really enjoyed about my job is when I would go into the schools and for, different career days and speak to the children and really see where their minds are at and really help to educate them on the financial services industry, the Bitcoin, blockchain related sector. And one of the first things we would ask when we go into these numerous classrooms to help these children, open their eyes to what's available. Can anyone put their hand up and tell me if they know what financial services mean? Do you know how many hands get put up in a class of 20? maybe one. Do you know how many times that one person who put up their hand got the answer right? Maybe twice in the visits that I've taken, at least. Our kids don't even really know what the financial services industry is all about. And our financial services industry brings in a little over 50% of our government's revenue. Why is it that we're not putting more funding towards really educating our youth to be able to not only understand what financial services means, but to also be able to compete, to be able to dominate that industry? So one of the key things that I would also be looking to do when I get in office, with the support of my voters in Bodden Town West, on the 30th of April, is to effectively ensure that blockchain technology is deep rooted into our curriculum. I want to be in a position, OC, to sit down in a couple years from now and have this cool kid walk up to me and say, Mr. Rankin, man, and shake my hand and thank you so much for putting this program in place. I'm like, tell me about it. What do you mean? Man, I'm a coder now. I just made $10,000 last month for my family, and this month I'm on track to make even more. And I'm looking at him like, how old are you, kid? And I want him to be able to say something crazy like 13 or 14. I want to be able to help foster in a new era in Cayman. We used to be very good at catboat building. We were expert seafarers, right? What are we experts at today? That the world comes knocking on Caymanians' doors to say, hey, I want you, and not just 2 or 3. I'm talking about by the hundreds. I don't know what that is. I want to be in a position to be able to implement this change, that we can create the Steve Jobs of tomorrow, and not by 1 or 2. I'm talking, it's the norm. Everybody's smart. Everybody is capable. Everybody's making money. And I appreciate that not all kids, because it takes some level of, academically inclined abilities to be able to code, to be able to work in that industry. But we talk about we need that balance.
But then we'll also have the vocational
exactly
programs in place, so that those that don't want to go into blockchain and those technology,
they know. We could have the carpenters, we can have the plumbers, the electricians. These skilled laborers make millions of money. Dollars if you do it properly and you have a business. We need to prepare our youth for both sides of the job spectrum.
Okay, we're going to go to our headline news at 1 o'clock. When we return, we want to talk a little bit about transportation and infrastructure, as well as the need for sustainability and the need for a proper, fit-for-purpose national development plan as well. Folks, in the studio with me, we have Miss Julie Hunter from the Cayman Islands National Party, who is seeking to represent the constituency of West Bay West in our parliament, and Mr. Haymond Rankin, who is seeking to represent the constituency of Bodden Town West in our parliament. Please stay tuned for the talk today. We'll be back shortly.
Subway and Oreo has changed the dessert game. Introducing the Oreo footlong cookie, a full 12 inches of chocolatey, creamy goodness. It's big, it's bold, and it's here for a limited time. Perfect for sharing or not. We won't judge. Want it fast? Order ahead with the Subway Cayman Islands app for quick pickup and earn loyalty points, or get it delivered straight to your door with Bento and Let's Eat. Don't wait. Treat yourself today. The Oreo footlong cookie is calling your name. Subway. Eat fresh. Snack sweet.
Did you know that Doctors Hospital provides urgent care services 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? And Doctors Hospital's urgent care physicians have access to the most advanced MRI and CT imaging in the Caribbean, providing reliable diagnostics when you need it most. When you need quality urgent care for an illness or injury, Doctors Hospital is here for you 24/7. Whether it's a migraine, chest or abdominal pain, shortness of breath, broken bones, or another urgent need, Doctors Hospital at the top of Walker's Road. Urgent care right now.
Easter vacation is just around the corner, and Cayman Airways has added multiple extra flights to some of your favorite destinations, some of mine too. Look here, they got seats available now for booking on extra Easter flights between Grand Cayman and Kingston, La Ceiba, Miami, Cayman Brac, Little Cayman, and you can even catch a non-stop flight to Montego Bay for Easter. Check it out. You can visit CaymanAirways.com, contact a local travel agent, or call Cayman Airways Reservations on 949-2311. Oh, don't wait too long though, because these extra Easter seats always sell fast. Be sure to add your Sir Turtle Rewards number to your booking so you can earn more miles for more free trips this year. Well, I know where I'm going. I'll see you on board a uniquely Caymanian airline for Easter.
Stay cyber secure with Cayman National. Protect your computers and mobile devices with security software to defend against cyber attacks through viruses, malware, and other online threats. Be aware of unsecure Wi-Fi connections when in public. If you need to access your online banking or sensitive information on your mobile devices, try disabling the Wi-Fi and switching to data from your mobile network. If you suspect a fraud attempt, please contact our customer support team at 949-8300.
Wouldn't it have been grand if you had purchased land 30 years ago? It may not be 2020, but a perfect vision has never been more clear. Cayman Brac and Little Cayman, poised for growth with an eye on the future. Your land, your history, your future. Discover all that our sister islands have to offer.
Covering Little Cayman, Cayman Brac.
Cover me.
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands. From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines. Local, regional, international news.
The headline news is brought to you by Kirk Market and Health Services Authority.
The Association for Cruise Tourism is holding a press conference next week featuring remarks from the former Prime Minister of St. Lucia, the Honourable Alan Chastanet. Deputy Premier and Tourism Minister, the Honourable Kenneth Bryan, will also be making remarks. The topic, cruise tourism in the Cayman Islands and the Caribbean. In international headlines, Israel today launched an attack on Lebanon's capital for the first time since a ceasefire ended the latest Israel-Hezbollah war in November. Associated Press reporters in Beirut heard a loud boom and witnessed smoke rising from an area in the city's southern suburbs that Israel's military had vowed to strike. It marks Israel's first strike on Beirut since a ceasefire took hold last November between it and the Hezbollah militant group, though Israel has attacked targets in southern Lebanon almost daily since then. The Trump administration today asked the Supreme Court for permission to resume deportations of Venezuelan migrants to El Salvador under an 18th century wartime law, where a court fight continues. The emergency appeal to the High Court follows a rejection of the Republican administration's plea to the Federal Appeals Court in Washington. By a 2-1 vote, a panel of appellate judges left in place an order temporarily prohibiting deportations of the migrants under the rarely used Alien Enemies Act. Those are your headlines. I'm April Cummings.
Radio Cayman. More news available at www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, Radio Cayman Headline News.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
Do you have a healthcare question but not sure who to ask? Contact HSA's Patient Call Center to speak to one of our experienced clinical team members. We are here to answer your questions and help guide you through your healthcare journey. Need to make an appointment? Our team can help. Contact HSA at 949-8600 or email info@hsa.ky. At HSA, we are committed to caring for you.
Radio Cayman is pleased to feature this special Sister Islands historical vignette brought to you by the Ministry of District Administration and Lands. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your Sister Islands.
Julia Ann Ruddy, 1877 to 1942. Julia Ann Ruddy, nee Lazari, was married to Henry Watson Ruddy, ISO, with whom she had 3 children. She served as a nurse and midwife on Cayman Brac for many years. She rode a bicycle between her home in Stake Bay and whatever part of the island the mother-to-be lived in. She was sometimes assisted by her husband, the only dispenser doctor on the Brac. She was a very kind and compassionate woman who reached out to the less fortunate, helping them, sharing with them, and caring for them during illness. She was loved by all.
Radio Cayman is pleased to feature this special Sister Islands historical vignette brought to you by the Ministry of District Administration and Lands. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your Sister Islands.
Explore your history, explore your land, explore your Sister Islands, the ultimate staycation experience. Your culture, your freedom, the land that time forgot isn't gone. It's your Sister Islands.
Discover all that our Sister Islands have to offer.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Good afternoon and welcome back to Talk Today. I'm your host, Orrett Connor. In the studio with me, we have 2 members of the Cayman Islands National Party. We have Ms. Julia Hunter, who is seeking to represent the constituency of West Bay West in our parliament in the upcoming general election, and also Mr. Haymond Rankin, who is seeking to represent the constituency of Bodden Town West. One of our listeners has written in and said, how do your guests plan on, or what do your guests plan on doing if elected as far as employment in government is concerned? And I think basically what they're probably referring to is, employment in government. If you're employed by government and you're non-Caymanian, you're treated differently than you are if you're
in the private sector.
On a work permit.
What does that sound like to you, OC? Does that not sound like a double
standard, they call it? Yes.
Double standard. That's exactly what it is.
This is what I'm saying, right? I mean, I know we have laws in place and you have to abide by the laws because they're not, they're not suggestions, they're standards, right? But why have a double standard in the law? I don't understand it. And when we talk about, what I mentioned earlier, at a high level, you put policies, you put laws in place, and when it trickles down, it affects Caymanians. Let's dissect how that's actually affecting Caymanians, this double standard. In the civil service, if a foreigner comes here and gets a job, OC, they get free pension, they get free health, and if they have kids, all their kids get to go to school for free. Right?
But when you say free pensions, so what?
Well, pension contributions.
Yes,
right?
Okay.
Right? So not only is government spending money to pay them, they're spending money to educate their children. Contribution and health care, not only for them, but for their whole family. That is
what a package.
It's an amazing package.
Exactly.
for a foreigner.
Yes.
But what about for Caymanians, Ms. Julie?
Think about
that is systematically stressing our infrastructure on our pensions, on our health, and our school system. If you drive to a school right now in Bodden Town, those schools are bursting at the seams. And it's like, okay, the thing you have to do is build a new school. Maybe. That costs a lot of money. And we know the government track records with building schools and how that go, right? Tens, if not hundreds of millions of dollars. And it takes anywhere between 4 years to a decade. Or, well, I don't get my centuries wrong again. Or many, many years. Right? But what if we were to change the policies, change the laws to make the standard balance? This is one of the things that we're going to be presenting with the Cayman Islands National Party. There needs to also be a rollover policy in place, because not only do they get all these free things, when they get in, it is like pulling a tooth to get them out.
But
And when they stay there for the set period of years, now all of a sudden what happens, Ms. Julie?
go straight to citizenship.
Straight citizenship.
No vet, no anything. They just go straight.
Straight in.
And what about changing that policy to 7 years so that it's not a straight 9 year? And then I think as well that we need to look at the fact that when they are here, they can't be going from job to job.
Mhm.
Make up that time. And also the fact that when they leave, they should be leaving, but this is on a regular person, leaving for 2 years instead of 1. 1 year goes right around and they come right back, and almost the employees always even just wait on them nowadays because they want them back. So that again is putting a Cayman at a disadvantage, because why not hire a Caymanian now in that position? No, you're going to wait for a year to get that person back. I think that is just so wrong.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about infrastructure, roads, transportation.
Okay.
If you so wish, or if there, I believe you wanted to say something before I mentioned that, Mr. Rankin.
Oh, the meeting. Yes. Okay. See, I forgot. As I said that to you, I forgot already. This evening at 7 p.m. at number 5 Woodland Drive, I'm inviting you all to come on out. I'm going to be hosting a community meeting at 7 p.m. It is in the area of Bodden Town West, so I just want to let you all know I'm not in the business of giving these long old speeches and talking at you. It really is an open discussion. If you have questions, feel free to ask them, and I will be answering them. So this evening at 7 p.m., number 5 Woodland Drive. It's the first house on the left on Woodland Drive where my billboard is up. We'll be hosting a community meeting there tonight. Please come on out, guys.
Okay. So
So, Mr. O.C.,
yes, ma'am. Go right ahead.
Just to make it clear, because I think the question was, how do we feel about the double standards? And how we feel about the double standards is that it should be one standard across the board.
Yes.
What's good for the goose is good for the gander.
Yep.
To break it right down, and we feel definitely that government should be living up to the same standards as the private sector in relation to work permits and contracts and so on and so forth. So those policies, those laws need to change so that we can get a level playing field for government and the private sector, and in turn, then our people will be at a less disadvantage, and they will have more chances for employment in the island.
Thank you for that, Miss Julie.
Okay, we have, we're going to go until about 1:20, Paul, until about 1:20 we come to you for commercial break. So we have about 8 minutes left. I want you all to be able to cover some of the other things that you may want to talk about, and give yourself some time for a few closing comments as well to our guests. And I'm sure that this is not going to be the last time that you're going to be on for Radio Cayman. So
yeah, I'm back next week.
Yes,
as well.
okay.
So I think you had a question about
infrastructure.
Oh yes.
I think that's a good one for him, because
well, sure.
yeah, he is really big on that infrastructure, and he has been so instrumental in our party and bringing such new ideas and solutions to us. So I just want to personally thank him. I've gotten to adopt him as my second son. I don't have one son, so I've gotten to adopt him. So thank you, Haymond.
Shout out to my brother Clint then.
So transport and infrastructure, traffic congestion and infrastructure challenges continue to be a major concern for residents. Can you outline the key priorities of the proposed master ground transportation plan, and explain, how it will improve mobility and quality of life for Caymanians in both the short and the long term?
Yeah, thank you for that question. So in terms of infrastructure, ground transportation plan, traffic, all of these things kind of come together as one, and it's a lot of overlapping issues. So I think the gist of it is, right, our infrastructure is lacking, and as a result, we're stuck in traffic. So our approach, and some of the initiatives that I would be pushing if elected with your vote on the 30th of April, is multi-tiered. So in the short term, what I believe needs to be done is we need to look at the school system. Right now, when school is out, it's a breeze to get into town. When school is in, 2 hours from Bodden Town into town every single morning. My family and I have to wake up 4:30 in the morning to get ready. If you don't leave my house by 6 o'clock, OC, you're not getting into town till after 8. I've been called into the principal's office many times for the tardiness when we first moved back, just trying to adjust to this ridiculous hours and the long wait time in traffic. So first of all, we want to look in the short term, quick fixes, require private schools. It's mandatory. You have to have school buses. We have to also increase the license and fees for expats who want to have vehicles to try and dissuade them for owning vehicles and from importing vehicles. We also want to put look at putting restrictions on how many vehicles per household the expats who are obviously on work permit. It should be a luxury. It should not be, common practice to just have 5 people in a family of work permit holders, and each one of them has a car. It is stressing our infrastructure, and I think they could appreciate that. I know they can, to be fair. And that's some of the things that we can do in the short term.
And also with the flex hours, I think that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sorry. Thanks for that, Ms. Julie.
A lot of businesses could go on flex hours. We saw that during COVID as well. A lot of people worked at home. So I think that a cooperation between the private and public
sector, yes,
and come to an
and
agreement.
Also the schools,
come
right?
to an agreement, yeah. And in some of the Latin American countries, they have 2 shifts for the schools, and I didn't realize that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they have 2 shifts. So my daughter-in-law was telling me that she used to go to school from 12 till 5. And then the other ones start from 7 till 12.
Exactly. So
there are things that can be done if we have the political will to do it.
And that doesn't really cost the government any money of significance, OC. These are all legislative and policy changes that can be made.
But tell them about the longer term fix.
Yeah.
I like that one.
So for the medium term fix, before we get to the long term one, is really having a ground transportation system that's fit for purpose. The government has spent, I think it's $250,000 on a Deloitte report that has not been implemented. It's sitting on a shelf collecting dust, just like a lot of the other reports that government has commissioned, unfortunately. We need to implement a ground transportation system that is not only fit for purpose, that uses technology, that has an abundance of routes that don't only go on the main road, go on side roads as well, and is reliable and accessible. And it's one thing to have it, it's another thing for people to use it. So there would be incentives that are attached to using this transportation system. You want cheaper licensing fees, you want X, Y, Z, and we could think these things through to really encourage people to use the transportation system and make it beneficial for all. The long-term plans, right? OC.
Gotta be quick. Running out of time.
3 minutes. Okay. What is the purpose in having a multi-million, if not billion, with a capital B, road to take people from the east to the west? There's still bottlenecks, OC. And I'm not saying that we don't have to build that out over time, but I think our money could be spent better if we were to simply bring a government administration building to the Bodden Town area and also look at funding the courts to be able to purchase and build a courthouse in the Bodden Town area. We can start to now build out an ecosystem in Bodden Town, in these eastern districts, that will then, once those 2 buildings come down, next thing you see a law firm coming, an accountant firm, private sector building up, and we could make Bodden Town great again. We used to be the first capital. Now it's like we're some forgotten district, and we don't have a hospital. We don't have a lot of things that needs to be there from an essential services standpoint as well. And I think once we implement these short, medium, and long-term plans on a whole, Cayman infrastructure will be in a much better position, and people will not have to spend hundreds of hours sitting in traffic, losing time with their family, and losing patience.
Okay, quick closing comments, Ms. Julie.
I just want to thank you this afternoon for having us, and to say that I love people. I always have been a community advocate. I've been working in my community for my whole life. I have lots of plans for what I want to do for West Bay West. And I know that you've seen a lot of things on my short manifesto, but I will be inviting you to more of my meetings so that you can hear my vision. And I know that I will be a leader for my youth, an advocate for the youth of the Cayman Islands. And I just want to say I'm just thankful that I have the opportunity to run for Member of Parliament, and I ask you to elect me on April the 30th.
Okay, Mr. Haymond.
Yes. Thank you all for tuning in today and listening to us. I hope you found the discussion useful. We will be having at number 5 Woodland Drive a community meeting today at 7 p.m. Additionally, I will be having district meetings in April. That's the 12th of April and the 27th of April at the Bodden Town West constituency office, my current headquarters from my campaign. Please, I ask you all to come on out, to listen, to talk with me, to learn more about my vision for the Bodden Town area and also the on a national level. I thank you all once again for tuning in, and I hope on the 30th of April I have your support and your vote, as well as Miss Julie's. Thank you so much. God bless you all, and have a wonderful day.
Okay, I want to wish the both of you, the best during your campaign as well, as you go about and learning more and more about people's concerns and how you'll go about addressing them, and looking forward to having you back here on Radio Cayman at some point in time as well. Yes. Folks, we're going to take a commercial break, gone a little bit over, but we're going to make up the time. And of course, we're going to have later on in the studio with us Mr. Philip Ebanks, who is an independent candidate seeking to represent the constituency of Red Bay in our parliament. Please stay tuned. Talk today. We'll be back shortly.
The preceding was a paid political broadcast.
Accidents and illnesses can strike without warning. Ouch! When it comes to urgent care, every second counts. At Doctors Hospital, we have a dedicated team of experienced doctors and nursing staff available to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Don't waste time in an overcrowded emergency room when you need urgent care. Whether it's a broken bone, a severe infection, or a sudden illness, trust in Doctors Hospital's unwavering dedication to providing the best immediate care. For complete urgent care when you need it the most, choose Doctors Hospital, located in Georgetown, 16 Middle Road.
Easter vacation is just around the corner, and Cayman Airways has added multiple extra flights to some of your favorite destinations, some of mine too. Look here, they got seats available now for booking on extra Easter flights between Grand Cayman and Kingston, La Ceiba, Miami, Cayman Brac, Little Cayman, and you can even catch a non-stop flight to Montego Bay for Easter. Check it out. You can visit CaymanAirways.com, contact a local travel agent, or call Cayman Airways Reservations on 949-2311. And don't wait too long though, because these extra Easter seats always sell fast. Be sure to add your Sir Turtle Rewards number to your booking so you can earn more miles for more free trips this year. But I know where I'm going. I'll see you on board our uniquely Caymanian airline for Easter.
Take some advice from your Aunt Angie. If you're going to invest in an exotic pet, choose anything but a Norwegian forest cat. Apparently, they will eat all your jewelry. Before you know it, you're racing to the vet when your cat escapes from his carrier and lunges for your earrings. You crash and your cat swallows your pearls. But if you're smart, you'll have CG Motor Insurance and get the best comprehensive coverage for the price.
Get the best comprehensive coverage for the price. CG Britke. Good like that. All benefits are subject to policy provisions, including eligibility at the time of service.
Now, more than ever, supporting your immune system is crucial to helping your body fight off illnesses like the common cold, the flu, and COVID-19. At ValueMed Pharmacy on Walkers Road and in Bodden Town, we carry all the essential vitamins and minerals to help support your immune system and improve your overall health. Some of our top immunity support picks are vitamin C, vitamin D, zinc, elderberry, and quercetin, or the popular 7-in-1 immunity support. Our pharmacists are always on hand to help guide you and answer any questions. Visit ValueMed Pharmacy on Walkers Road or Bodden Town. Live happy, live healthy with ValueMed Pharmacy.
The nation listens. The candidates speak. Subway presents the General Election Debates, live in studio on Radio Cayman 89.9 FM and 93.9 in the Sister Islands. Every Monday and select Wednesdays from 7 to 10 p.m. 2 sessions. One powerful discussion. With Election Day fast approaching, hear what the candidates have to say on the cost of living, housing and development, economic growth, sustainability, education, transport, tourism, immigration, and more. Who has the vision? Who has the plan? Hear it all unfold live, unfiltered, and on the voice of the Cayman Islands. Radio Cayman, 89.9 FM and 93.9. Streaming live on Facebook and YouTube. Visit Radio Cayman's social media pages for debate details. Brought to you in part by Cayman Enterprise City.
Also brought to you by Reflections, UCCI, and Yum.
The following is a paid political broadcast. The views, information, or opinions expressed in this forum are solely those of the participants of this event and do not represent the views of the management and staff of Radio Cayman.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Good afternoon and welcome back to Talk Today. It is my pleasure to have in the studio with me now Mr. Philip Ebanks, who is one of the independent candidates seeking to represent the constituency of Red Bay in our upcoming general elections. Mr. Ebanks, even though you have been, on Radio Cayman before, you've been exposed to the public, you've also been, on your walking tours and having your community meetings and stuff like that. I think it is still important for you to introduce yourself because we may just have some new listeners or new persons who are just watching it as well. So tell us about yourself and what inspired you to become a candidate in this.
Thanks a lot, OC, for having me on the show. And of course, a big good afternoon to all the people over in Red Bay and in the Cayman Islands. And thanks so much for the opportunity to be here and to run for Red Bay as an MP. I really appreciate all the kind words that have been said to me. And obviously, as I've indicated before, I have the last 20 years of my career has been as an attorney, and then before that I had 20 years in public service, 18 years or thereabouts in the police department. So this kind of meld of experience, I believe, places me in a position where I really understand service and community service. I've lived in Red Bay for the last 30 years. The last 15 years I've been in my current location. But before that, we were in different locations. It was at Whirlwind at one point and then Victory at another point. So I do understand the issues of Red Bay. And as we go around and we continue our canvassing, it is clear that Red Bayers really are looking for a change. You'll hear other people come out of left of center now and say, oh, they're going to do this and they're going to do that. And you really have to think back on a simple proposition, which is this. Some of these people have been effectively behind the power behind the MP before and been his assistant and so on and so forth. And you would have thought that given that background that, they would have been able to step up to the plate and do some of these things, make sure that the speed bumps are sorted out, make sure that the traffic lighting is in good shape, make sure that the roads are paved and drainage is done. But no, they haven't done so, and now we come around to what I call, this is election season, and some people say it's called silly season, because all of a sudden people are coming out of the woodworks with their programs and saying what they propose to do, but at least in one case, we've had the same MP for Progressives for the last 12 years, and he's solidly been, as far as I can see, Mr. Tatum has been his right-hand man for the last 12 years. So here we are, but the promises are being made. I think, though, that Red Bears are seeing through it, and, I think it's a bit too late for many of the voters there. Many of the voters want a change, and they're really looking forward to a change. And I think we will have a change in Red Bay, and we will have a fresh start. We will have a constituency office, and I want to just kind of reflect on that for a minute, OC, because if you think about the sum of money that's been paid towards our constituency, which is $60,000 per year, over the last 8 years, That's $480,000 that have been paid for that particular purpose, and there's no constituency office. And of course, when they set this up, the politicians haven't done us right, because you don't. They put the provisions that you don't have to account for that money, and it's not so funny that you're getting money in and you're not accounting for it, and you don't have to account for it, so nobody can ever make an argument that you should account for it, even though the ethical thing to do would be to account for it anyway. So it's those things that really bother myself and the people of Red Bay. As I've gone through and I've canvassed, there are other things too that appear to be really important. Red Bay is a proud little constituency. People seem to want to really look after the upkeep and the way things are, and your curb image and so on and so forth in the district. And of course, clearly one of the things that we do need there is some better sort of community regulations. Some of that is covered already in the environmental health law, but I think we need to we'll have to pull more of that together to make sure that you have sort of be able to properly regulate exactly how the curbside should look, what kind of garbage container should be there, to make sure that lighting and issues of how people's roadside, deportment of their property is, because it's a nice district, and everybody's property and property values are important to everybody. And there is a real emphasis, as you see the community groups, they're concerned about it. And when I say I'm elected, I'm going to make sure to champion those, to ensure that those regulations go in, meaningful regulations that help to make sure that the community is beautified and kept beautified as we go along. That'll be one of my emphasis within Red Bay.
There was a pilot project in relation to garbage and specialized garbage containers, but I believe that was in your neighboring constituency that was adopted. Was that in Prospect or in parts of Red Bay as well, where there were industry-specific garbage containers?
Sort of separation of different types of waste. Yes, there was one ongoing there in the vicinity of Hurley's for a while.
No, this was a program actually that was introduced by the representative there and the DEH in relation to certain types of garbage containers that could be picked up by the garbage trucks, and but it was a pilot project, so obviously it wasn't in Red Bay. I believe it may have been in Prospect instead of Red Bay. But some concern by some of your other opponents in the upcoming election, if I want to use that word, can't find a better word at the moment for it. Concerns about gated communities cropping up in the constituency, and they feel that you need to be, more as a collective, as opposed to certain people segregating themselves by having gated communities. It almost brings that, us and them feeling and mentality. You have any views on that?
There's always that. There's always that us and them. However, I want to basically reflect that as from my knowledge and what I understand, much of the sort of the gated, the veering towards gatedness, so to speak, has come about because of real security concerns, and when you have security concerns, and as you evolve with those security concerns, and people do put up gates and fences, yes, it takes away from the openness of the community, but it also assists in containing the safety and security element. And so here we are. We have some communities that have gates and some that don't. I wouldn't encourage a further erosion into that, but at the same time, we are where we are in terms of the gated communities that we do have, and of course that takes away some of the pressure from the police in terms of having to police those areas which means that the police resources can probably be better used in other areas where they're more needed. So there's pros and cons to it, and but I certainly agree that having gated communities within communities doesn't help with the sort of inclusiveness. And yes, and I certainly openly encourage us to be as open as possible. Yes.
Now, also one of the issues facing your constituency has to do with the flow of traffic, the ability to get in and out of Red Bay, more so getting out than getting in.
Yes. Yes.
Do you have any views, on that and what the remedy may be? We know that you, like you said earlier, spent several years with the Royal Cayman Islands Police Service. I'm not sure whether or not you had been in charge of traffic division.
Yeah, I spent a
period of time.
Quite a while as in charge of traffic, like you said, and clearly traffic is something that is. We have quite a high density of cars now, and if you look at the traffic flow, clearly along the whole Red Bay stretch of Shamrock. It is a very high density area. Cars are coming in, particularly in the morning, are coming very, very, bottlenecking coming from the eastern districts. And then in the evening, it's in the other direction. So where we are now is that there are some roadworks that are in the works in the two roundabouts. There, one at Hurley's and the other one at the King's Gym area. And those will make an improvement on where we are now. But, the longer term issue is going to be one that we need to look after. In particular, I was hearing one of the other persons saying that they thought that that they would reduce cars and restrict cars and then go into public transport. Well, my view would be to do it the other way around, is that we need to put the chicken in front of the egg. We need to put in the public transport system first and make sure that gets up and running. And then we can kind of squeeze in on the edges of how we attack reducing cars and traffic on the road. And there's a number of ways of doing that. One way of doing that would be like they've done in other areas. You could have a kind of firstly, you could make sure that you have priority lanes for the buses, right? So that the buses go through, and then you could also have a kind of a sun pass system too, that you actually have a higher sort of toll pass at certain times of the day for cars, and in that way people would, we use the roads and we use them like they are absolutely free, but if we think of the road as a resource that is there, that needs to be paid for, it's only a limited amount of it, and we do the sort of sun pass system, and in that way, that if you're there on the road early in the morning during peak hour traffic, you are likely to be charged a little bit more than not being on the road. It might make particularly some businesses are out there that are traveling up and down, right? I think it would make business people also who are doing business type of traffic think more carefully about when they're using the road. You also see things like, for example, sometimes you see backhoes on the road early in the morning, and all of those things we could tighten down on to make sure that that we kind of reduce the traffic flow. Certainly busing and school busing is an excellent idea. It's been around for a while. Staggered hours is another great idea. But I think the long-term solution for us is really going to come when we actually look at what we can do towards opening up the land to the east, in the east-west road that's going to go in, because that's going to represent two things for us, or three things rather. It's going to open up additional land for housing.
Okay.
And we need housing. We can see that a big part of the problem with the cost of housing is that the lack of stock. there's not enough stock there. We got to put in additional housing. So that road is going to represent an opportunity for additional housing. It's also going to represent an opportunity for additional businesses and amenities to go in. As I mentioned in the chamber debate, I thought that certainly a courthouse in that area, as well as other services in that area and a high school. You know, we talk about high school. Those are the type of things that in that area will help to kind of bring a community and a real business element to that side of the island, say the Bodden Town side of the island, that will allow for traffic that's coming in from the eastern districts to have other options on how to get to essential services. And so I think that at the end of the day, that's going to be probably one of the biggest things that's going to help us with traffic congestion. Because when traffic doesn't have to come into town, you know, that's going to be the major element there. But all these things work together. You know, we need to look at the low-hanging fruit, as I say, which would be ensuring that we do things, all the things that we can do. During COVID, we had this more staggered hours and that type of thing. And we need to kind of put a little bit of pressure on that, get the business community behind us, get government. Government should be leading on these things, right? To be the first stage adopters of these things so that we can go forward. Yes.
Okay. One of our listeners asked the question as to why decide to run in Red Bay when you're also well known in West Bay.
Oh, yes. That's $1 million question, really. You know, how many people have come up to me and said, well, why aren't you why you're not in West Bay? You'll be ashore in. And the fact of the matter is this, that I've lived in Red Bay for the last 30 years of my life. Like many Red Bears, I don't think there's not that kind of almost, shall we say, original population. Red Bay is the kind of district where most people have moved.
They were transplanted there. Yes,
you know, there's a lot of new Caymanians there of all different nationalities. There's a lot of people who lived, believe it or not, as I go into homes, people, the Mandersons are down from West Bay originally, and they know who I am. They know my mother. And my mother lived there, my sisters lived there, and of course my sisters have now moved on to other districts. But yes, there's something, you know, when where you're born and where you buck your toe. There's something about that. But there's also something very special about where you actually now call home. And you know when you think about home, OC, when you travel abroad and you think back about the things that are important to you, and you remember your bed, and where's your bed? And that's where you think, and where's your family right now? And that's where you think of home. And Red Bay is home for me. I love Red Bay. I love the people, you know, a lot of very good vibes. A lot of disappointment that over the last 8 to 12 years that they haven't seen their MP, but I promised them that this is going to be different with me. I have a track record for being committed to what I do. I'm going to do it. I'm going to use every bit of energy and expertise that I have to make sure I do the very best job in Red Bay, to bring Red Bay have it into the kind of district where everybody can be proud and pleased to live.
One of the signature projects for Red Bay, or that one that had been certainly on the agenda and everyone's talking point, has to do with the Ada Sanchez Memorial Park.
Yes.
Do you have a view on that? Where is it? We heard another candidate said they want to create more open space in the constituency. There are several public open spaces that are there as a result of the development, having to require them to be there as a part of the development, and they would like to develop those. Where do you believe the Ada Sanchez Park is in terms? if its contribution to the constituency and any other things that can help as well.
Yes, certainly a very good question. Certainly, Ada Sanchez Park was started back about 8 years ago. So it's been sort of two governments, two different sets of governments that have kind of brought it to where it is right now. Okay. You know, as you look at it, one of the things that I noticed, and it's kind of one of these things that I've seen as a common element of all the parks, there's no shade. You know, these things are wide open. And you talk about developing something so that kids and people, maybe elderly people, can come. You know, if you go to any Central and South American country, they have a town square, okay? Mm-hmm. And in there, they have taken, I mean, it's very basic, right? But they have a few benches, and then they have some shade trees or some shades of some sort. And so when we start talking about parks and talking about government parks, I mean, yes, let's do one properly first, please, before we go and spend more money on additional parks. I'm not saying that they're not needed, but I'm also saying that let's make them ensure that the parks are, you know, attractive and that they have certain little amenities. I think the kids' bars that they recently put there are good. They need toilets in that there. And then it also seems to me that you may need some fencing there, because what happens when during the late night and evening hours and stuff, then the park gets, you know, people go there and they abuse it.
Okay.
And so we need to do the park. We need to really finish it, really. It seems to me there that even things like walkway around the park to make sure that the two adjoining roads have good access to it. You know, there's things to be done there. And instead of running off and jumping off and saying, let's do a fresh one somewhere else, let's look at doing this one and finishing it and make sure it's done properly. You know, there are parks here in Cayman that the government have done that they sit vacant. They sit vacant, and then you look around and you say, well, boy, we spent a lot of money there, but they're not used. Let's make sure that we do this one and that we can see utility in it. We can see it's being used before we go off and do something else. That's my view.
Okay. Rainy seasons are coming up. Rainy season is coming up. I believe that there are some parts in that constituency that are subject to flooding.
Yes.
You know, as well. I have a friend who lives on Selkirk Drive, and when we had those continuous rains, there were some portions of her yard where, you know, water was more than knee deep.
Yes.
In there as well. Have you seen any movement to address the flooding situation, or do you have, you know, any solutions that you would offer as to how to deal with it?
Well, let's be fair. Red Bay is low-lying.
Right.
Okay. So let's be absolutely clear about that. And it's, if you look at Red Bay where it's on the map, it's kind of it has ocean on both sides, right? You have the North Sun on one side, and then you have the south side, South Sound water on the other side. So it is not an easy fix. That said, it seems that there has been, and I think Miss Turner was instrumental in doing some additional pumps and lift stations in the Prospect area, which seem to have had a good result. So certainly, I think that was kind of a pilot plan, and obviously, if I'm elected, I'll be looking to make sure that we bring some relief to Red Bay as well. Beyond that, it seems to me that there's other things that we need to look at. One of the things that you see is that particularly with the school children and getting to buses and so on and so forth, they're really it's a real dilemma. Some kids are wading through, knee deep in water, and so what strikes me there is this: the buses don't appear to have a designated spot to stop, so they stop all over the place. So how do you fix that you can say, hey, listen, at least there's a clear spot for kids to wait for the bus? You've got to designate spaces and spots for the school buses to stop. So we need to put in school bus stops so that kids can, if it's even the mom is dropping them to that spot because the water is high, then they have a drop spot and a collection spot for the bus. So that's the type of thing that I think that is going to make a difference, and I'd press for that type of thing. It's organizing things, There's some things you can't fix in the sense of, can you drain the whole of Red Bay and the whole of Prospect? No, you can't. But you can be creative in ensuring that there's spots there that people will have an opportunity. The kids will have an opportunity, safe opportunity to catch the bus.
Mm-hmm. Now, in your former one of your former careers, you Royal Cayman Islands Police Service that we mentioned earlier, being in charge of the traffic division.
That's correct.
As well. Some people have complained about the absence of speed bumps in the area. Now, there are people who argue against,
of course,
speed bumps, and then there are those who advocate for them. Do you have a position on that, or any advice that you would give in terms of the proper use of speed bumps? One of the things that I have noticed is that if the speed bumps are there is not necessarily any advance notification that they are there. Some instances, there may be a speed bump sign right adjacent to the speed bump. That is rare. And one wonders whether or not the authorities are seeking to punish those persons who speed by not alerting them to it. But as we've seen in the past, it can cause serious accidents as well. So
damage to
your advice as a person who, as a traffic specialist, your advice on that?
Sure. Obviously, advanced signage is important on everything that we do. You're not going to go into a change of a speed zone unless you got a speed zone sign. And certainly advance notice of speed bumps is an important, a roadside sign there. And also the marking of the speed bump itself. You see that in many places they have a different coloration to kind of give you an indication that the speed bump is coming up, so you can see. In terms of my view on speed bumps, clearly in those residential areas, one of the things that you hear from people in Red Bay is that, hey, I'm scared to go out and take my kid out on the road for a little walk in the evening because the cars are coming along at a crazy speed, and that's not right. People need the opportunity to raise their families in their neighborhoods and to walk the roads and to do the thing, exercise on the roadsides as conveniently and safely as possible. So I'm totally for ensuring that speed bumps are there. We need speed bumps in conjunction with a bit more vigilance on the police end as well, and we'll keep pressing on those things. Police can't be everywhere all the time, and a speed bump is often called a sleeping policeman, right?
Yep.
So it's one of those things that's a backup. It's not ideal because cars can get damaged, but given the mode of traffic on the road and the need for safety and security for
if you had to choose between damages, you prefer the car rather than the human being.
I would think so. Yes.
So the person who posed the question about why not run in West Bay as opposed to Red Bay, they said that your late uncle would be quite proud of you.
Thanks.
Okay, and then they want to hold your feet to the fire. They want to know whether or not school buses should be air conditioned. The heat is why many parents don't send their kids on the buses.
Wow, it's an interesting question because I hadn't heard that was a reason why. And I suspect that there are various reasons why they don't travel on the bus, but certainly doing everything that we can to ensure that the buses are safe and comfortable and organized. And when I say safe, I mean, some parents are kind of concerned about safety of children on buses, which I don't know that that's fully justified, but it is a feeling. And so, yeah, absolutely everything that is going to make buses put to full use would be certainly something that I would be in support of.
Okay, I have one more question for you because I want to give you, I think we're going to end at 1:57. Paul, is when I come to you. This is a question here, and says, is it really the situation that members of parliament are getting an allowance of $5,000 per month for a constituency office, whether they have one or not? Please say that is not the case. If it is, then just look at all those dishonest politicians that have been receiving this and not establishing the office. Please do not vote them in again. I have to do some research. I know I've questioned it before, and you may know more about it. I think they're given a certain amount to use, but not. It isn't earmarked specifically for constituents or office, because we have seen in some instances where a party will share a constituency office for all of their party members, but they are given this money that is almost like discretionary spending, I believe.
Yes, I think that's absolutely correct. But, I look at it from this perspective, that it is money that is given to you specifically as the MP of your constituency.
Yeah.
And therein lies the issue. Certainly, I got to take my hat off to Ms. Turner. She's put her constituency office, albeit it's actually on the Red Bay side of... it's not in Prospect.
Oh, okay. So you can claim it then.
But hey, guess what? It's ready. It's there. It's identified. People know where it is. And to me, that's the issue. Is that there should be this space. Red Bay House is what I would call it, where you can go and you can say, that's not whether I support this MP or I don't support this MP, whether I like him or I don't like him. This is my constituency office. I need a little bit of help on something, be directed to the proper services. I'm not going to have to go in somebody's backyard or somebody's pool house or something to get the service. And so that's where I come from, and that's the way I look at it, and that's why I want to have a constituency office in Red Bay.
Okay, I want to give you an opportunity for some closing comments as well, Mr. Ebanks.
Sure.
We had a good conversation, excellent conversation this afternoon, covered many points, as well. And I must say, you handle them, quite well, succinctly also, which allows you to move on to talk about so many things.
Yes, certainly. The first thing I'd like to say again is thank God for really blessing me. I feel to be at this space, in this space at this time. That people have always asked me about why and why I'm running, and I keep coming back to it. That I've prayed about it. I've asked God's guidance on this, and now I'm here. And it seems to me that the logical thing to say is that if not me, then who? And if not now, then when? 61 years old. I have my experience. I've been a faithful individual to my careers and the people who've employed me all along. And this is a logical movement on towards serving the people of Red Bay and the people of the Cayman Islands. I also wanted to take this opportunity, of course, to invite those who may be able to come out to our meeting on the 29th, which is Saturday, at the Sailing Club at 7 p.m. We're going to have a meeting there. It's going to be sort of informal type setting. I'll speak for a few minutes, and then I'll give people an opportunity to ask me questions. And I look forward to seeing you come out. Many people have responded. So, it's a Sailing Club. It's 7 p.m. on Saturday the 29th of March, and I look forward to the opportunity to.
That's tomorrow night. Tomorrow night, actually.
That's correct. That's correct. This is the thing, OC, is that the days just kind of
lose track, right?
Yes.
Yes. Well, I want to wish you all the best, Mr. Ebanks, and look forward to having, more of these conversations, with you as well. And I'm sure that the people of your constituency, they appreciate your honesty. You're being transparent and being forthright in terms of your answers and from the questions that have been asked of you. Folks, I'm going to throw it back over to the control room. When we return, the phone lines will be open, so all of you budding candidates out there who are looking forward to running in that would be 2029
Yes.
general elections. You can start your campaign from now. You can start calling in and talking about the things that concern you and what you would do in 2029 as well. Don't change that dial. Please stay tuned. Talk today. We'll be back shortly.
The preceding was a paid political broadcast.
Easter vacation is just around the corner, and Cayman Airways has added multiple extra flights to some of your favorite destinations, some of mine too. Look here, they got seats available now for booking on extra Easter flights between Grand Cayman and Kingston, La Ceiba, Miami, Cayman Brac, Little Cayman, and you can even catch a non-stop flight to Montego Bay for Easter. Check it out. You can visit CaymanAirways.com, contact a local travel agent, or call Cayman Airways Reservations on 949-2311. And don't wait too long though, because these extra Easter seats always sell fast. Be sure to add your Sir Turtle Rewards number to your booking so you can earn more miles for more free trips this year. But I know where I'm going. I'll see you on board a uniquely Caymanian airline for Easter.
Stay cyber secure with Cayman National. Here are a few tips that will benefit you. Ensure to log out completely when you finish any online banking activities. Be aware of phishing attempts and only click links from trusted sources that are sent from your device through emails and messages. Remember, Cayman National will never ask you for your credentials. If you suspect a fraud attempt or that your account has been compromised, please immediately contact our customer support team at 949-8300.
Did you know ordering your favorite sandwich from Subway just got easier? Yeah, picture this. No more waiting in line. No more fussing with cash. Just a delicious taste of Subway at your fingertips. With our new app, ordering your go-to sub is as easy as a few taps on your phone. Plus, receive exclusive deals and earn loyalty points with every purchase made on the app. Download the new Subway app today and get ready to ditch the lines and drive straight into your flavor. Visit the App Store or Google Play Store on your mobile phone and search for Subway Cayman Islands. Subway. Eat fresh.
Freedom, Cayman Brac. Freedom, Little Cayman. Soft breezes, blue waters, no traffic. Unwind and rejuvenate your mind, body, and soul. Sister Island Staycations, a taste of freedom. Discover all that our sister islands have to offer.
It's March Madness at Reflections. Shop the red tag sale until the end of March at Reflections. Save on kids, men's, and women's selected style shoes and sneakers. Brands like Nike, Puma, Reebok, and Dockers, 50% off. Adidas, 60% off. Ladies' jeans in select styles at 50% off. And ladies' tops from $9.99. Men, step out in your Levi's 550, now 25% off. All accessories and handbags, 50% off. Shop the March Madness Red Tag Sale at Reflections all month long and be entered to win 2 Cayman Airways tickets. That's mad!
The countdown is on for Capella Music Festival on Saturday, March 29th at the Festival Green, Camana Bay. An unforgettable experience and non-stop entertainment presented by Cayman Airways in Camana Bay, featuring international stars Ashanti, Clean Bandit, Gramps Morgan, Kamani Marley, and Elaine, Nyla Blackman, and DJ Puffy, alongside local artists and DJs across 3 stages. Purchase at Tier 1 pricing while supplies last at CapellaMusicFestival.com or in store at Blackbeard's, AA Rubus, FIS MoneyGram, Winter Circle, Tortuga, and Sings Roadie Shop. Capella Music Festival, Saturday, March 29th. A true festival experience.
Yesterday,
Today,
always and forever.
Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands. From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines.
The headline news is brought to you by Kirk Market.
I'm April Cummings with your headlines. Police are investigating an attempted armed robbery at a Shamrock Road service station Tuesday. A masked man with what looked like a firearm demanded money. No one was hurt. If you have any information, call Bodden Town CID at 947-2220. In international headlines, a powerful earthquake rocked Myanmar and neighboring Thailand today, destroying buildings, a bridge, and a dam. At least 144 people were killed in Myanmar, where photos and video from two hard-hit cities show extensive damage. At least 10 people died in the Thai capital, where a high-rise under construction collapsed. U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance, his wife, and other senior U.S. officials visited an American military base in Greenland today in a trip that was scaled back after an uproar among Greenlanders and Danes who were irked that the original itinerary was planned without consulting them. Those are your headlines. I'm April Cummings.
www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, Radio Cayman Headline News.
Looking for fresh, healthy food that's full of flavor? Then you've got to visit Kirk Market. Our dishes are made with fresh, high-quality ingredients. Enjoy vibrant mixed greens or satisfying pasta salads. Or try one of our delicious grill options like blackened chicken, spicy beef steak, or grilled salmon. Looking for something light and flavorful? We've got sushi rolls and poke bowls prepared daily. And don't forget to explore a hot bar or Billy Fresh salad at the salad bar. Stop by Kirk Market today for breakfast, lunch, or dinner and taste the difference. Eat well, live well with Kirk Market.
Radio Cayman Talk Today continues.
Good afternoon and welcome back to Talk Today. We have about 25 minutes left to go in the show. The phone lines are open, or toll-free number if you're calling from a Flow number. And this is provided courtesy of Flow, 1-800-534-8255. You can also call us on 949-8037, 949-6990. They are not toll-free numbers. We also have a WhatsApp number, 925-3261. We have two callers on hold. First caller, good afternoon. Welcome to Talk Today.
Good afternoon, Mr. O.C. How are you?
Good afternoon, ma'am. I'm fine. How are you?
Oh, I'm very thankful, very thankful. Beautiful sunshine. And unfortunately, there's not enough hours in the day to listen to all of the many debates and presentations in our political campaigning, but
so true.
Watching whatever we can.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm not calling about politics, other than to say I'm hoping and praying that everybody's conducting themselves in a respectable, honorable fashion, dealing with the issues that are facing our country.
Well, when they come on my show, they have to do that. I make sure I keep them in check.
I know you keep things going, but I'm just saying, because there's so many different areas where they might be hanging out or dealing with. Being respectful is so important. What I'm calling now, wearing my West Bay District Committee of the National Trust hat.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? We are developing, trying to keep clean Uncle Sammy's Pond, which is on Mount Pleasant Road, across the junction of Meadow Avenue. And unfortunately, again today, a vehicle has been parked there. It was there a few days ago and removed, parked there for sale. Sadly, there are those who feel that every little vacant piece of land can be their own personal used car lot. And it's disrespectful, because we have to keep cleaning up the place. But more importantly, it's not a used car lot. The license number of this white Hyundai, I think this one is a Hyundai.
Hyundai, yeah. Uh-huh.
Hyundai, is 190497. It's a nice-looking little car, and we do not want to have to call the Department of Environmental Health to come and take it away. So I'm asking, with respect and kindness, for whoever continues to put that vehicle there to please come and take it away, put it on their own property, and put for sale on EK or wherever one uses for selling property.
So is it put there and then removed at a certain time of the day and then removed after?
It was there earlier this week.
Uh-huh.
We were so pleased to see and I reported it to community development officers. And it's so nice to see that it had been removed, and now again it's back on again today.
Okay.
They just feel, well, we can do this. It's empty because we've cleared it. We've been clearing it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm asking them to please respect other people's property.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because not only do they use it for used car lots, but not that this one has done it, but people just come along and throw their garbage. They will leave their household garbage and throw it down. It's disrespectful. It is not how Cayman used to be. And unfortunately, this aspect of progress is not progress at all.
Yep, that's true.
All right, so 190497, a white Hyundai car parked on Uncle Sammy's pond. Please remove it so that we don't have to have it towed away to their owner's detriment.
Yep. Okay.
Thank you very much, OC.
Thank you very much,
Thank you
Miss
for all
Alice
those
May.
listening. And if you know whose car it is, because I don't have the phone number, I have the license number. If someone knows who it belongs to, please contact your friend, your neighbor, whoever, and say, please move your car.
Yep.
And stop disrespecting private owners.
Agreed.
Thanks.
I'm with
God
you.
bless.
Okay, take
Bye-bye.
care. We have another caller. This is callers on the WhatsApp phone. Caller, good afternoon. Welcome to Talk Today.
Yeah, good afternoon to all.
Good afternoon, sir. How are you?
I'm great, and how are you?
I'm fine, thanks.
Yeah, I listened to the debate last night with Cameron West, Little Cayman. I was thinking it was nice, but I didn't like the signing off there from myself, one of the tidbits, saying that if you put X by his name, it'll be the first time in your life that you made the right decision. And that's to be kind of offending, saying that we braggers never made the right decision before.
Oh, okay. Good point.
And I hope all the voters will remember that. And also the people that support them, that means them too, that when they voted before, they made a wrong decision too. And that I can't stop thinking about that the first time in life you be making the right decision. Come on, I mean, we all made some mistakes, but we all made a lot of right decisions too. So I hope people remember that, because he putting us down by saying that, like we so stupid, this first time that we would be sensible.
Yep. And
that's offending us.
And how can he correct that, or is it too late?
It's too late for us, I'm concerned, because he had it in mind to say so he said it, So everywhere you go, you got different kind of people, but we are all not stupid. We made a lot of right decisions before. Look at all the people that from the BRAC that they work in a high position in Grand Cayman. That were right decisions and everything else, We went to see him, became captain, chief engineer, and everything else, right decision and everything else. But the first time in life you'll be making the right decision? No, come on, man, that's insulting to us.
Yeah, point taken, point well taken.
I mean, that's on the internet. I mean, you I'm sure you listen to it, so you heard him say so too.
I can't say that I have. Was it in a debate? Was it in a question and answer period that he had, or is this on a social media platform that was put out there?
No, that was in his debate last night.
Okay.
At the last, he asked the closing remarks.
Closing remarks, yeah.
Yeah, I sent it to you on WhatsApp, so you can see it yourself what he said.
Okay.
I take offended at that, because I made a lot of right decisions, and a lot of this, most or all brackets made a right decision before now. So don't say about if you want for him, this will be the first time in your life that you made the right decision. No, I don't like people saying that, and I hope all the voters remember that.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much, for that caller. Paul, I'm going to throw it back to you for a last commercial break. Folks, please stay tuned. Talk Today. We'll be back shortly.
Subway and Oreo has changed the dessert game. Introducing the Oreo Footlong Cookie, a full 12 inches of chocolatey, creamy goodness. It's big, it's bold, and it's here for a limited time. Perfect for sharing or not. We won't judge. Want it fast? Order ahead with the Subway Cayman Islands app for quick pickup and earn loyalty points. Or get it delivered straight to your door with Bento and Let's Eat. Don't wait. Treat yourself today. The Oreo Footlong Cookie is calling your name. Subway. Eat fresh. Snack sweet.
Did you know that Doctors Hospital provides urgent care services 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? And Doctors Hospital's urgent care physicians have access to the most advanced MRI and CT imaging in the Caribbean, providing reliable diagnostics when you need it most. When you need quality urgent care for an illness or injury, Doctors Hospital is here for you 24/7. Whether it's a migraine, chest or abdominal pain, shortness of breath, broken bones, or another urgent need, Doctors Hospital at the top of Walker's Road. Urgent care right now.
Stay cyber secure with Cayman National. Here are a few tips that will benefit you. Ensure to log out completely when you finish any online banking activities. Be aware of phishing attempts and only click links from trusted sources that are sent from your device through emails and messages. Remember, Cayman National will never ask you for your credentials. If you suspect a fraud attempt or that your account has been compromised, please immediately contact our customer support team at 949-8300.
Cayman, could it be you? Tortuga's 10K giveaway is back, and someone's walking away with $10,000 in cash. Every time you spend $25 at Tortuga, in-store or online at tortuga.ky, you get a shot at winning big. As well as $10,000 in cash, we've got thousands in giveaways to hand out every week. Think staycations, the latest iPhones, exclusive experiences, and more. Get in to win. Visit tortuga.ky for the full terms and conditions.
The best foundation you can wear is glowing, healthy skin. The offices of dermatologist Dr. Wayne Porter specialize in enhancing your skin's well-being. Whether you're seeking advanced skin care, including any skin cancers, Botox, filler, cosmetic skin enhancements, or simply looking to reduce wrinkles, Dr. Porter offers a full-service dermatology and dermatological surgery practice. For more information, email drportercayman@gmail.com or call 946-9020. That is 946-9020.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Good afternoon and welcome back to Talk Today. We are on the last leg of the show this afternoon. We do have a caller. That's on a regular line, Paul. Regular line. Caller, good afternoon. Welcome to Talk Today. Hello.
Good afternoon, see you.
Good afternoon.
How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm good. What I want to say this afternoon is, I know I might step on some people's toes, but I don't care. I live in the Brock. I've been here 18 years now. And what I observe up here, the men up here have what my grandfather, Lemon Mark Felix, say, has no balls. The women have all the balls, or whatever you want to call it. But, you know, see, I live up here. I retired and I came up here. And all I does up here is fish. And most of the I would say 80% of men, the Brock men, fish or have boats. Mm-hmm. They don't have a decent launch and ramp up here. See, if you launch your boat today, you can believe tomorrow you're going to have to buy a tire for it, the trailer, because all the launch and ramps up here have rebars coming up to them.
Wow.
They're no good, and half the time you can't find parking because other people come in to the island. They got, you know, a lot of boats. Everybody, I can understand that. But all the money the government are spending, not spending, thrown away. You would think that you would have parkings away from the launch and ramps and stuff that, you know, when you launch your boat, you could park your trailer and your vehicle away from the ramp that other people could get down, you know. And see, the other thing, I dive in Cayman for 30-odd years. And we, on the south side of Cayman Brock, and Little Cayman, Grand Cayman, we all use one dock. And the way we use the docks, you had Bob Soto, you had me, Adrian, everybody, and everybody had 3-4 boats. And if we were using the docks up there, we come in and load our people, but we didn't come into the dock unless our people were on the dock. And we load our people and move away from the dock, and the other person go and load their people, drop their tanks, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You work a system out. Up here, Caribsan has a dock, and one of the dive operators up there now took out the dock that the fishermen were using. And you're not supposed to use a dock for personal gain. The government dock, if they give you a license, they tell you that it's on your license, printed on there, that you're not supposed to use government property unless you have special permission. And they don't have special permission. I think they give the people at Brock Reef special permission to use the dock on it. Then why don't this other operation go down there and use the dock too? It's huge enough, it's big enough for all two of them operations to use that dock. Now they take up the little dock that we got down there, and if you go there in the morning, they're sitting there for an hour and a half waiting on, and the first thing I tell you, we're waiting on our guests to come down. Move from the dock till your guests come down, go and pick them up.
Mm-hmm. And how many launching ramps are there in Cayman Brac?
Oh,
are they all on the south side?
No, they only got 2 on the south side, and one of them, both of the ramps are all screwed up. But the docks, they got 2 docks there.
Okay.
2 docks. And the big dock where the hotel is, that's a government dock also. And it was to build that dock so that when, years ago when they had Northwest side, like Cayman, they had pontoons to discharge on.
Mm-hmm.
And it's right in front of the channel. So Brock Reef uses that dock. I understand they got special permission to use that dock.
Mm-hmm.
The other operators, the dock they're using now was built for the fishermen.
Mm-hmm.
And I know because I went and I talked to some people that build the dock and stuff. See, that's what that dock was. But they took over it. They took the dock over.
Mm-hmm.
They go on, I put when
and
I
is it on government? Is it government property as well? The land itself.
Government property.
Got you.
See, when I came to Cayman Brac, I brought my boat, one of my boats, and I wanted water on the dock. I went to the commissioner of police and I asked him. Not police, sorry, commissioner.
District commissioner. Yeah.
About putting water on the dock. You know what they told me? They had no money. I went to Mr. Tibbetts and I paid $600. I bought 600 foot of PVC pipe, and then Public Works sent someone to dig a trench for me. Me and my brother went down there and put water on that dock.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Connell gave me block and parcel number, and I went and put water on that dock. And I had that for probably a year, and then I got permission to put Mose gave me permission to put my boat by his dock. They had a dock there. And then I sold my thing with the water to someone else. Then these people going out there now, government put water for them.
Mm.
I went to them a couple of weeks ago, and I asked them, I said, I went to the commissioner, said, could you go down and tell them people that they're not supposed to use that dock because the fisherman dock, and they're hindering us from coming in, picking up our stuff.
And what was the response you got? What response did you get from the district commissioner?
Oh, he was going to send someone down there, but he didn't. I went to Public Works, and I got a guy by the name of Justin Bodden to go down and spoke. He said he was going. I know he went and talked to them, but it's still one of the dive masters down there. Most of them is good. It's just one they have problems with. He thinks they own the dock. But so I heard him tell some of the guests that they got priority over the dock.
Mm-hmm.
And I because I'm not going to let them people, I refuse to let them people come in here and do that to me. They do to someone else, but they're not going to do to me. I told them, I went there a couple of months ago, and I demand they leave the dock, and they left, But like I say, it's only one person, one of them that's that way.
Mm-hmm.
And if they don't straighten him out, I can straighten him out. And then the police had to come down after me.
Mm-hmm. But your first remark now, when you opened your conversation, was about the fact that questioning the what should I say, the perseverance of the Brac men in terms of them not challenging things. What would you want? what is it that you want black men to do over there in regards to this situation?
I want them to get up and speak. Oh, see, you could sit in front of them and say, let them. They know what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
But because they will not open their mouth. They will not open their mouth to say anything about it.
Mm-hmm.
And when I went in there one morning, and my wife was on a dock there with 2 25-pound bags of ice and a cooler for me to come in pick up off the dock. I had another Cayman Braca looked after me, holler for me, said, "You want me to go on my little boat and bring your cooler for you and your ice, bring it out to my boat?" I said, "No, let them move."
Mm-hmm.
And that's a mentality you got up here. They sit down and make their people that represent them up here do nothing. I see them building pickleball courts up here. Not one Cayman Braca up here, pickleball up here. So who you building it for?
Well, not many in Grand Cayman played it until then as well. So maybe it will garner people's interest to play it. It doesn't necessarily have to be played before. It's introducing, I believe, person that spoke about it before, say that it's introducing something new, to the BRAC.
I understand that. The kids instead of building that, they should have built a damn school that they could afford up atop the bluff, or clean up the pool. You ever took the pool up there that they built, Olympic side pool up there, is green. I don't see anyone do that to clean it. It's just green. It's like green and moss. When you got pool and you never do anything with it turn green?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's how the pool up there is. To spend all the money. No one cleaning the pool up there.
Well, this is the season to get things done up there. We know that you're originally from Grand Cayman, but you're a registered voter now in Cayman Brac?
I am a registered voter, but Cayman Brac people will tell you they're going to do this till the time comes. And that's, when the time comes, it's different. But God willing, and I hope people learn some sense and don't listen to promises anymore. Anyway, we'll see. Thanks a lot.
Okay, thank you very much for expressing your views, and I'm sure that people over in the BRAC are listening as well, and we know that they can be quite vocal when they want to be as well, when they want to talk about the price of gas, when they want to talk about the price of things that are other products over there. They certainly don't hold back in terms of making their feelings felt to a certain extent, and many of you over there may be fishermen as well, so it's something that you may want to talk about. If there's any better season to get things done, this is the time to do it now, the political season. Everybody's looking for a vote, so you never know. Check them out. Let's take our last caller for the show. Caller, good afternoon. Welcome to Talk Today. Good afternoon, caller. Welcome to Talk Today. Paul, they're not paying any attention. What do we have? About 4 minutes left to go in the show. I must say this has been an extremely busy week for me here at Radio Cayman. I enjoy doing what I'm doing, and if I didn't enjoy it, I wouldn't be here. And because I enjoy it, that is why it is really not that taxing, upon me in terms of what I'm doing. I hope and I trust that you, our listeners and our viewers, are enjoying the delivery of service that Radio Cayman brings to you. When we do it wrong, we want you to let us know, so that we can take corrective action to ensure that we get it right. When we do it right, sometimes it's good. Some of us have egos as well and want to get that little tap on the shoulder and say, well done. We have been getting a lot of positive feedback, from our debate format, different than what you have been accustomed to, and what is delivered via other sources as well. And we certainly appreciate that. And after each debate, we learn more and more. Just like after each interview that I have, I learn something new, and I am sure that those persons who I am interviewing also, learn something. So we can all learn from each other, we should not be hesitant, or we shouldn't be stingy about what we know and our willingness and our ability to pass it on to others, because to be forewarned is to be forearmed as well, and we need to ensure that our people are forewarned, that they know what to expect. They can certainly defend themselves, from that when those things come along as well. Like I said, on several occasions, when the candidates tell you what they're going to do, you want to ask them how you're going to do it. You may also want to extend that and ask them, and when are you going to do it? We hear and we talk about the low-hanging fruits. There's always those low-hanging fruits. As a matter of fact, if you were into agriculture, and some people talk about mango trees and first crop and second crop. The first crop is usually the low-hanging fruit, because those are the ones that the early blossoms, so they're going to ripen, they're going to get fit first, and then the second crop comes along as well. I hope I'm not making a mess of this analogy that I'm using here, but all of those low-hanging fruit, they're the fruit from the first crop, the first blossoms out there. So let's try to deal with those low-hanging fruit first. Like some people say, we can place a moratorium on certain jobs, that those jobs will be reserved for Caymanians only. We know that attempts had been made to do that in the past. It isn't something that you're going to necessarily see the results right away. Well, you'll see some results right away, because it means that no more applications would be considered for those. Now, we would have to address the whole issue of renewals of work permits for those persons who may fall into that category, and what you do with them, upon renewal. Do we put a sunset clause, on those particular work permits? So let's say, for instance, if you're a real estate agent on a work permit, do we tell you when that work permit comes up for renewal, or after a year or 2 years, you will no longer be able to get a work permit in that area? Do we grandfather all of those persons who currently are on work permits? That one might be a little bit difficult pill to swallow, because we may not have achieved too much by doing it that way, because there are so many of the persons who are on work permits who sell real estate at this point in time. One more thing I want to take up as well. One of our listeners on a WhatsApp message spoke about the fact that Caymanians, who is it that that is selling their land? Caymanians. That may be true to a certain extent. You should never forget that there are many non-Caymanians who purchased land on a speculative basis in the past, and now are reaping the rewards of that speculation, because land prices have gone so high. So it's not only the Caymanians who are selling their properties, their land, but many non-Caymanians who owned it over the years, or some of those early expatriates who came to the Cayman Islands, invested in land, and now they have passed on, and their relatives or their estate are now disposing of that property as well. So it's not just Caymanians. So stop blaming your Caymanians. Sometimes these adages that we and these sayings that we continue to repeat, they do more damage to Caymanians than they do than they help them. Another one is Caymanians are lazy. People say that Caymanians are lazy. Don't repeat what people say, even though you're saying it in a different context, because it does more harm and good. With that, I will remind you that with all of that, we are still our brothers and our sisters' keepers. There is always someone out there who's less fortunate than we are, and I ask you to extend a helping hand to them. If you can't do that, then donate to worthy charity, because we always want to consider those who need, not necessarily those who want or even those who crave. So folks, have a great weekend. Don't forget the DG's 5K this Sunday as well. You may want to participate in that. And if you're not participating, and if you are on the roads where that is taking place, please be patient. If you are driving a vehicle or any other type motor vehicle or any other type of vehicle, please be patient out there as well. Again, we ask the good Lord to continue to bless these three beautiful, wonderful Cayman Islands. Have a safe and enjoyable weekend.
Talk Today is brought to you by Subway, open 24 hours in Countryside, Anderson Square in Georgetown, and Centennial Towers in West Bay. And by the Ministry of District Administration. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your sister islands. And Cayman Airways. Call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. And Doctors Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066.